We are live, an early edition of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast with Josh Tolley, Beto Durant, and Ricky Romero. Oh, we are going because we feel like it. We're ready to go. No guest today, but I'm excited for what's going on because Tolley graciously left the middle of his landscaping work right now, Ricky, to get here. And I don't even want to know what his outfit is right now because he's probably got like lumberjack pants on or something. How you doing, Tolley?
I'm doing good. Yeah, you don't want to see my outfit. We're going with the headshot today.
Ricky, how's the air conditioning in Hermosa?
There's no AC, baby. We got the ocean here. Nice little ocean breeze every day. No AC.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hot though. It's
you guys comfortable?
Comfortable. You know what though? We went to the beach on Sunday. We took the boys like all morning during summers. We usually do that every summer. On Saturdays or Sundays or both days, we head straight to the beach. But we hadn't been out there in a while, and little Diego he got a nice little sunburn because yesterday I was changing his shirts and he's like Dada, ow, Dada, ow, and I was like, oh, you are sunburned, and because the oldest one doesn't burn at all, dude. He gets a tan right away, and this one he was hurting a little bit. I felt bad for him.
Ah, poor Diego. Ricky, how was the water though? It's kind of cold in Hermosa?
It's probably like 65, 70 degrees, maybe.
You guys you're suffering.
Dude, Sebastian don't care though, man. He goes in there and he's just riding waves like nothing. Like it's 90 degrees.
Oh yeah. It's beautiful.
Crazy.
And thanks to everybody that listens to us every single week, leaves the comments on the Let's Go Ricky Roll Instagram page and also on iTunes. Tolley, just to let you know, I didn't send this text to you last week, but for some reason, guys, I was doing the analytics looking at what's going on. Our numbers in Mexico are big right now. Like if you look at the sports category in Mexico, we were 22. We were number 22 in all the sports categories in Mexico. All of them are like soccer, and then all of a sudden we pop up. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this going on? And I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, we were there. So I don't know what Farmer Tolley is doing, what it is, but they love you, Tolley, in Mexico. That's all. We're growing.
Right. That's right. We like it that way.
Now,
Venezuela, we're not getting the big numbers yet, but we got to work on that, Tolley.
Who's listening to our podcast in Mexico? From what I hear, you got managers punching kids out there, punching players. You hear about that, Josh?
No, what happened?
Oh,
punched a player or something like that.
Really? That's not it.
There's pictures online of the player with the busted lip. He actually went to Cal State Fullerton.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. All right. We're not one to gossip, but I'll do it. So here's the story. Now, Tolley. Okay. All right. So let me rephrase it. So no guest today. We're going to talk about we'll go back and forth with each other. Just quick show today because Tolley's got to go back to lumberjacking. I got to go do kid stuff because the summer's going to really mess things up. I might not even be around next week, so we'll talk about that. Ricky's got things, but we wanted to give a show for the fans because we keep on growing and the fans are really cool. They're here for us. And so the topic I wanted to get into was just like seeing young studs. But since Ricky brought this up, I forgot about this. So Tolley, you've seen some crazy stuff in clubhouses, right? Whether you're playing in the United States, in the minors, or in Venezuela, or just now as a coach for your kids' teams. Here's the story. In Mexico, in Aguascalientes, Mexican League, the manager, who is from Venezuela, I believe Luis
Rivero.
Luis Rivero is the manager in Aguascalientes.
Rivero, I don't know.
Says something to one of the players about, the player Michael Wing, who's from Southern California, and they go back and forth. They have an exchange, and one of the players who's sitting there, Richie Pedroza, I guess Pedroza tells the manager, he's like laughing, and the manager's like, well, what are you laughing at? And they get into it, and the manager swings, clocks the shortstop because the guy supposedly told him, F you. And there's a fracas in the clubhouse, and the kid, the shortstop who got punched, has a big old fat lip, and they posted the pictures on social media. It's all out there. And I'm reading this. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And Alex Anabi, our friend, is like, Mexico, bro. Like, that happens. Like, the manager gets suspended, and then the guy's been suspended, but they're back and forth, and it's just crazy. Oh, and the manager came out and said, oh, because these guys are smoking marijuana in the clubhouse, and the lack of professionalism, I've had it. I'm done with this.
So did the coach leave?
No, he's there.
He got suspended one game.
They might win the championship. I'm not kidding. You watch. I don't even know. I don't know anything about the team, but you watch. I bet you they win the championship.
You know what's crazy though? You hear about instances like that in clubhouses that managers almost come to blows with the players, but it never really happens. So the fact that he landed and clocked them pretty good it's crazy because, like I said, you always hear about it. I've been in clubhouses where it's gotten really, really close, like where a manager and a player like are face to face, and you're just like, whoa, like this is really happening. But to actually have a manager punch a player, that's crazy.
That's sick.
Totally. You ever break up a clubhouse fight?
Yeah, I've broken up a lot of clubhouse fights.
Really? Like teammates
Yeah, team. Not so much. I mean, I've never seen the manager take a rip at a player, but that takes some balls, I guess.
Yeah.
But I've seen teammates fight. I mean, every year there's 2 or 3.
No way.
Yeah, it happens all the time. That's for good chemistry.
Yeah. I've seen teammates go at it too. Just one instance was one of our players got hit, and then a bullpen guy came in, and they felt like that they weren't protecting our player, and they started jawing at each other after the game. It was like we had to separate them, and yeah, I mean, there's different things, man. I mean, it's like Josh has said it before in the show. You spend so much time with these guys. It's like it's a brotherhood. You're with them. You're gonna laugh with them. You're gonna maybe at times shed tears with them, and you're gonna fight. I mean, it's like it's brothers, and when you have a brother, an older brother, a younger brother, you fight, and sometimes stuff doesn't sit well with others, and something has to be said, and things happen. But again, like a manager hitting a player, I mean, that's crazy. I want to know the full story. The last thing you want, obviously, it's still it's Mexico and anything, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You played in Tijuana, Rick. You saw some stuff. We saw some stuff. Like, I went into your clubhouse with no credential, no nothing. I just walked on in there. It was no problem. But I can only imagine something like that. And they're only they're 20 games into the season. So the frustration levels must be crazy. Now, without naming any names, what fight did you break up? Like legit punches being thrown?
No, normally shoving matches, and a lot of it stems from what Ricky says. A lot of it's pitchers not protecting the hitters, stuff like that. That's normally guys dogging balls. I've seen one of those. Guys not wanting to play. I've seen one of those. It's like, I mean, guys, you get. I mean, 20 games in's a little early, honestly. Normally these things happen in September or August. When you're making a good playoff push or your team's terrible, guys, the tempers start flaring.
Now, why do you say it's good for chemistry?
It's kind of what Ricky said. It's it's how you overcome that, right? What it does is it builds, it lets everybody, instead of walking around with the stuff on your chest, it allows guys to just release it.
Interesting. Interesting.
I think it helps.
Totally back to that whole we fought each other, now we're gonna unite together attitude.
Yeah.
But can it also make it go the other way of I fought you today, I'm gonna fight somebody else tomorrow?
No, it doesn't normally work like that. Normally when you get your fight out, it's out and it's done and everything's off your chest, because then it turns into everything else that is all compiled over the course of the season.
See, that's why I love doing this show, because the stuff that's behind the scenes that we don't hear, like me as a member of the media, we'll hear there was an argument, because usually it's one of the clubbies tells me, hey, so-and-so got into it, but we don't ever really get the true story of what happened. Or, you know what the best would be is a teammate of one of the dudes who got into it that nobody likes will come and tell you hey, did you hear so-and-so got into it with him? Why don't you guys put that out there? It's oh, because nobody likes that teammate, so they want it to be known that he got into it with somebody on the team. That's how we members of the media get the information. It's not like we see it, but it's always third-hand party. So for you guys that in there, but do the managers get involved? Or when there's a fracas like that? No?
Most of the time not. There's no reason for them to.
No, yeah. Hey, it's your clubhouse, you handle it, that's it.
So it's kind of like, oh, managers kind of and coaches kind of turn their head like, oh, I see nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, just deal with it. Fix it. Fix the problem. We're adults.
The manager's not your dad. I mean, it's we're adults, and it's hey, you handle it if you have to handle it. You got to do what you got to do, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's again, you don't want it to get out to the clubhouse. You know, like the Mets had an incident where in the tunnel supposedly they got in a fight, and next thing you know, they're talking about rats and this and all that. But like, you don't want it to get out for what? You know, it's nobody's business. Whatever happens in there stays in there, and that's it.
But that's another thing too, though, right? If somebody's like, "Hey, who ratted out?"
No, I mean, normally it's. I mean, normally we're baseball. The baseball clubhouse world is like the Real Housewives of Orange County or whatever they have. It's like there's so much gossip. It's like, geez, don't rob a bank with anybody in there.
Yeah, don't ever be the bench guy because they will tell you everything. Like people are like, they're like, how do you know this, Beto? I'm like, all right, be nice to the secretary, the ushers, the parking attendants, and the last guy on the bench because they will be your best source. Like they, no matter what. Oh yeah, that's why
it's true. Yeah. I mean, I mean, even like the cops, the head security guys that are sitting right by the dugout that are assigned a game, they see a lot of stuff too, and they know. So yeah, you keep it cool with them. You know, you hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, or whatever. Like, I'm sure they see stuff. You know, you know, in Toronto, I mean, there's a cop that's right there, and I'm sure he goes down to the tunnel every once in a while, and you know, there's a lot of mother effing and punching and throwing of gear. And dude, Beto, I wish there was honestly, Josh, I wish there was a camera in that tunnel in Toronto.
Yeah, that's a good one. To blow bats up.
For like a streak of 5 games to see what happens in that tunnel because man, it's funny shit. I mean, you know, I think Brandon Morrow in one of our first few episodes, he spoke about it, how he's got an insulin pump on it because he's diabetic, and he like chucked it, and we were trying to look for it for like 4 innings. You know, we couldn't find it. Like stuff, like crazy stuff, man, like broken bats, a lot of offers, guys that go over, or a lot of guys that go have short outings. It's horrible, and it's the shit that goes on in that tunnel. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's where you got to go. All right, so that's like little gossip, and like I said, that's one of the things where me being around the Lakers and Phil Jackson, you kind of knew when things were going really well, Phil would come out and just, you know, his interviews were always very calculated. It was like, oh, we're doing this, and all of a sudden one day, Phil would just decide, you know what, things are too easy around here, and he would just blow up a player. Like he would just go after like Power or Kobe or whatever, and I'm like, where did that come from? And then the friction comes back, and people tell me later, like Phil would just revel in that, like, oh yeah, look, because when it's too easy cruising along, no, you got to have that friction. Like all these mind games, especially in baseball, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I'm sure you saw it too, Beto, with Kobe Bryant. I mean, he wasn't scared to jump on his teammates, and obviously basketball teams are a little smaller, and you know there's more of in baseball there's 25 guys in the clubhouse, so it's kind of hard to have that one leader. It's almost like there's few leaders here and there, but in basketball, when you're that alpha male and you're a Kobe Bryant, I'm sure you saw or heard some cool stories about him jumping on guys, and I mean it's been known out there that him and Shaq didn't get along at times because he was lazy. And when he got on those young guys, the Clarksons, the Julius Randle of the world, like it's on tape, and I'm sure everything's a mind game. You know? He's like
he got on Dwight Howard for eating McDonald's in the clubhouse or the locker room an hour and a half before the game, just looking at him like, well, yeah, but then Dwight had like 4% body fat. He could eat McDonald's all he wants. He still sucked that year with the Lakers. So, all right, now normally we don't talk a lot of like baseball current and stuff is going on. And I know everybody's like, oh, the pitching stuff and all that. Like, yeah, whatever. It's been going on for whatever. It's gonna happen. And then the rules came out today that they're gonna enforce this and that. And then in 2 weeks they're gonna enforce something else. And Joe West is gonna do what he wants. So we're not gonna get into this like substance stuff because I know people want to get your perspective behind it, but whatever. It's like go turn on Sports Talk Radio and you'll hear 8 million opinions about it that nobody really knows anything that's going on. Now, what I am curious about, I saw a picture yesterday. Our good friend, batting stance guy, Gar, posted this picture of Vlad Guerrero and Vlad Guerrero Jr. when they were in Montreal, and then Vlad Guerrero Jr. is the leading vote getter. And yeah, I'm the older one here. I'm in my 40s. And damn, I feel old. Because in 2005, I met Vladdy Jr. He was in the Angels clubhouse in spring training in Tempe. Like, just a big meatball. Killing the spread, like at 8 in the morning, totally, and going after it. And I forgot that was that kid, because Vlad had a bunch of kids with him at the time. He had, like, all his kids were in the clubhouse with him. This guy becomes the leading vote getter, and that's crazy what he's doing. Now, I want to get into his, because are you guys now starting to feel old when you see these young kids dominating like that? Because it's been happening to me for a while. Because you guys are in your early 30s, mid-30s. Like, are you starting to feel like, fuck, when did this happen? When did I get old?
Try playing last year. There's like 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids at the alternate site. And I was like, what is going on? I have 14 years on these kids. Like, I mean, the game is getting younger, and I'm getting older. So it's interesting. I do. I feel old, and I say, what the hell has happened? But it's real life. It's getting younger. That's for sure.
A friend of mine yesterday, we were talking about the Toronto Blue Jays going back and forth, and this is what he said. It's crazy that you haven't even been done for 10 years, and you pitch in an entirely different era. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm reminded of. I think about that every single day. Like, it's crazy, because we were talking about complete games and how starters are getting babied a lot nowadays and all that stuff. And I was like, damn, I really like a different era. That's that's crazy. And it just made me think, like, yeah, I mean, we're not getting younger. And when you see these young kids like a Vladdy and Acuna, Tatis, and you think about the age they were when we were in the big leagues, I mean, they were little kids. They were, 6, 7 years old. And man, but to see Vladdy, a Toronto Blue Jay, being ahead in the All-Star voting and the year that he's having, it's crazy, man. Those moonshots he's hitting, it seems like every night. It's everything he was, I know last year he got a lot of shit for coming in and not producing and he went back to work this offseason, and he this is the guy that they paid all that money for as a young prospect, and man, he's living up to it, and I hope he continues, man, because stuff like this makes the game fun, and he's competitive and he wants to win, and I hope the Blue Jays continue to build a team around him, because he deserves it. That kid, it's special, man, what he's doing. I mean, they say he's putting up historic numbers.
You know what's cool is that it's 2021. You guys played a different era, even though Totally played last year in the Yankees organization. It's crazy, but the fact that a 21-year-old kid from Toronto is the leading vote getter, a Tatis in San Diego, it's no longer you have to be in New York or LA to be a star. It's really cool to see how the game has grown that way, where they're embracing these young kids totally, where they know what's going on, they know the flow, they know what's happening. And I know as much as we want to get like, you got to earn your time. Dude, when you're a stud, you're a stud. And it brings me up to this. When I first saw Mike Trout get called up, he was, 19? And he made his debut like on a Sunday. And the first time he came up, everybody's like, oh, Trout this, Trout that. And, he sucked for 2 weeks and they sent him back down. And then he comes back and you're like, oh, my God. Like, this guy is just something. Like, there's something there. Are there guys that you played with where you're like, oh, that is something, that's like there's something different about these guys? Anybody like that totally come to mind?
Yeah, I mean Mike Trout was kind of in his own little element.
Right.
Now it's funny because I was actually just at I was at a minor league baseball game on this Sunday, and I watched this Rutschman kid play from the Orioles, and like he stands out amongst those kids. So it's interesting. I haven't seen anybody like Mike Trout in my own eyes. I mean, there's an aspect of like earning your stripes from a standpoint of like, let the kid hit in the big leagues and let's see if he can hit in the big leagues, or let's see if he can pitch in the big leagues, versus just rolling it out to him and giving it to him.
Yeah. That's what I think is missing, right? Like that's a little bit too rushed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
but
like,
then, but then you hear of the kids too. I mean, and Josh knows this. All the kids who were super hyped up, and they just get lost in the world of baseball. And you know, we had one, and he was, big time, dude. And totally remembers him, Brett Laurie. When he came up with the Toronto Blue Jays, it was like he was Mr. Canada. He was playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. He was on every like billboard, and they they hyped him up. And man, one of the most athletic guys I've ever played with. Honestly, he was super athletic. Can jump out of a jam. Can do it all. Beto, you name it, this guy can do it all. And then next thing you know, in a trade for Josh Donaldson, and it kind of changed. I feel like it changed his career around a little bit. I don't know. And then next thing you know, he was out of baseball. But yeah, I mean, he's one guy that I thought for sure was like this guy. He's the can't miss guy. I mean, he can do it all, power, can field, but everything was at 110 miles per hour. I don't think he knew how to slow down. But he's one that comes to mind that I thought, not Mike Trout's level, but I thought he was going to be like one of those guys that was going to be a staple in that Blue Jays.
Yeah, because there's guys that we remember Ricky in our group chat the other day. We were talking about this, like being LA guys. All the guys that the Dodgers had who were supposed to be, wow, like. Clayton Kershaw was a first rounder, so you knew he was going to do something. I remember him pitching when he was wearing like number 52 or whatever it was. Because I used to work Dodger Sunday games, so you would see those kind of games. And you're like, okay, this guy's going to be special when he's 20 years old with that big bender. But then you think about the names that come through. What about this one for you, Tony? Remember this? Joel Guzman. He was part of that Jacksonville 5. He was supposed to be better than Martin, better than being Lonely, better than Matt Kemp, and it was like never did anything. Like that's why I was going back with this with Vladdy and Tatis, where Carlos Correa too, where they're so hyped, but then they come and produce. It's like, damn, like you guys have told us how hard baseball is, let alone at 21 years old, and it's like I'm happy to see kids succeed like that, man. It's just crazy how hard baseball is. People forget that.
It's hard, and I have to say, like when I heard that Vlad shed all those pounds over the winter, I thought it was going to be almost too much. It was going to be a detriment to his power. And my God, he's proven me wrong and some.
Yep. And one thing that people do is on this show, we don't become old men who talk about a cloud in the sky and complain. We adapt, right? Look, we're doing a podcast in 3 different locations. We're adapting. We're going live on YouTube. And let me get a little jump roll here. We're going to stay young too because we are going to add an intern to the show. We have somebody young. Just like they're doing in analytics, we're bringing in a young guy, and he's here right now. Everybody from the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast, say hello to Graham Metzger, our quasi-intern / new producer. We can't call him an intern because that means he has to get paid. So here's our friend Graham Metzger. Graham, turn on your microphone. He's from the University of Oregon. He is a sophomore broadcast major. I've told him many times, don't do this business. Get out of it. But I know his dad very well, professor at Long Beach State. Graham has a big smile. Yesterday I told him, hey, you want to help on the podcast? So he's now going to help do videos for the Instagram and also do the YouTube videos that we're going to have as promos. Graham Metzger, welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, guys? I'm so happy to be here. Definitely happy to bring this age average a little bit down.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. All right.
Hey, I had to come out strong.
That's right. That's fair.
I like it.
Wow.
I like it. Now we just expect some Oregon Ducks gear now, man.
Yeah.
Definitely coming through in the mail.
All right. So, Graham, having listened to the podcast for 20 minutes, what do you think so far?
I'm super interested. I really totally agree with what you guys are talking about in really baseball and every sport. It's all about the young guys now, I'm so glad to see that these big sports organizations are not scared to just push their young guys now and show like this is the most exciting thing in our sport right now. Sure. Yeah, so I totally agree with that. And as far as like, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
As far as like dugout altercations, and you were talking about Phil Jackson, Beto, I definitely remember Kobe walking off the court telling people they were soft as Charmin. You know, they need that kick sometimes.
All right, Graham Metzger coming in strong. All right, good debut, Graham. Good debut.
Hey,
So-
you're gonna have to come up to this, man.
Yeah.
So don't stop off from here on
Yeah.
out. That was
Never.
So Graham, so now we have a researcher on staff. So whenever we're doing the podcast, and Graham's not going to talk much, he's going to be in there. But if we ever see something like totally like, hey, what were my numbers against so and so? Graham's going to do the researcher grabbing it. So if we start telling a story, Graham's going to be researching to figure this out. So Graham, right now I need you to type in Aguascalientes manager punching and give me the names of the guys involved. All right. So that's what we got. All right, we'll be back with Graham later on.
Send Beto the pictures so Josh can see it.
Yeah, so type in Aguascalientes, Mexico baseball manager punch, and find the pictures and send it to me, and we'll get them up there. All right, Graham Metzger, our quasi-intern. I don't know if we can call him an intern because that might get me in trouble.
Yeah, it can be a free internship.
No, that's a lawsuit now. You have to pay interns. So welcome to the Bethelvision Network.
You're our friend. You're our friend if anybody asks.
Yeah, Graham Tolley has just joined the show, everybody. All right, we'll be back with you, Graham. Send me the pictures right now. All right. He's all fired up.
Love it. I love it. He came in swinging, too.
Dude.
Yeah, he did, huh?
Dude.
It's a baseball podcast, right? That's how I got to come.
Hey, Graham, turn your mic off.
Right.
Turn your mic off, Graham. Get out of here.
Graham, you just pop right in. Oh.
Yeah, but no, it's like I said, Graham's gonna help us out during the summer, does research and stuff like that. He's a broadcast journalism major, so eventually he'll be taking over from me when I disappear from the United States and just start golfing all over the world. Don't be all right. All right, so that's pretty cool. Totally. Now, let's just catch up with you real quick because a couple more minutes because Farmer Totally got to do stuff. Everybody's got to be busy today. It's a quick podcast today of what's going on. Totally, what's the update on you? Because I was watching Brockmire yesterday. I don't know if you've ever seen the show, and there was an episode where one of his friends, Uribe, decides to become a knuckleballer, and there's a scene where he can't throw strikes, and the knuckleballer's getting all mad. I saw this, though, that there's a knuckleballer somewhere in A-ball. Totally, could you catch somebody right now?
Yeah, with my eyes, a knuckleballer with my eyes closed. Hell, I might even use chopsticks.
With a shower shoe. Give me the shower shoe.
Yeah.
All good. Ready to roll.
Yeah, well, just whatever.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm sure the kid's got a fine knuckleball, but I caught a guy that won the Cy Young, for Christ's sake.
totally.
Got a question for that, Beto?
No.
I might go Aaron Boone on your ass here in a second.
Yeah.
Stop with that bullshit.
Yeah, there we go. Totally awake, baby. Let's go. Now, Totally, organization calls you and says, hey, can you get to AA to catch his kid?
Yeah, let's go do it right now if they want me to.
So you would give up logging in upstate New York to go play in the minor leagues?
As long as I get on the insurance for the major league team or the minor league team.
Take me with you then. I need some insurance.
Yeah.
I need to get my teeth cleaned.
Yeah. The insurance. Now, dental. Hold on. Let's vent about dental insurance real quick. You want to talk about the biggest scam in the world? It's dental insurance.
Dental work is the biggest scam in the world. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm fortunate enough. One of my very good friends is an endodontist. So you need a root canal, you come see my guy. He's good.
Yeah, I got a brother-in-law who's a dentist, but we'll save that for another story, Doctor.
Yeah. Anyways, enough of the dentist stuff.
TJ, man. You just cross the border, go to Mexico, go to TJ. You want dental work done?
I know, but I was watching. I kept thinking. The more we talk to you, Totally, the more we think like how crazy it is that last year you were in the organization with the Yankees and you're doing it, and it's just the less teams there are. Like our friend Alex Adabi is playing in independent ball. There's teams in Mexico, but then how many minor league teams got contracted? I didn't realize how many jobs got lost this year for players, broadcasters, managers. Like there really aren't many minor league jobs anymore.
No, I mean, 100. What was it? Either 120 got abolished, I think was the right number. It was something outrageous. I did a thing on it because I was doing a radio show in Toronto and I did some work on it, and it was something like that. It's skipping my brain right now. It's
crazy. Oh my god! See, man, people here.
But if if any teams are listening and you have a knuckleballer, I could definitely do it. Easy.
Really?
I don't know if I get hit 100 anymore, but
Well, here's
Hell,
why.
I don't know if I could ever hit 100.
Now, because our good friend Bartolo Colon just threw a complete game the other day in Mexico, 48 years old, 78 pitches in Mexico, 48.
He's a wizard. He throws 98% fastballs and gets everybody out. Hey, kids that are listening, take notes. Command the baseball. How about that?
Yeah.
Now I like it. I mean, it's true. It's true. I can't keep saying that enough. Like, we've gotten away from commanding a baseball. It's like, oh yeah, throw hard. Everyone wants to see 100, but man, the goddamn baseball, like, it's not.
Command it. Fastball, first pitch fastball strikes. This isn't that hard. I'm gonna look something up real quick.
Go. Hey, Graham will research.
I just have to. Because I just pulled it up when I was looking at it. Rays send Tyler Glasnow for MRI due to elbow issues. At some point, the arms fall off, right? I mean, do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying, well, if you throttle down or you don't throw as hard, you're not gonna have arm problems. You still might, but like, these are dudes that are going max effort, 110 pitches every single night. You know,
the arm injuries are just it's all over the place.
No, yeah, it's true. I mean, it almost seems like every guy. I mean, even Jacob DeGrom is one of the best pitchers on the planet, but he's like, it seems like that arm's giving him a little bit of trouble too, and it's almost like makes you think who's next, and you hate to see stuff like that with the top pitchers in the game that go down with injuries, and you don't want that to happen. But commanding the baseball. I mean, and DeGrom's one of the best at it, but it's just he throws hard every fifth day, and it's 100, 101. But it's almost like is there a price to pay with throwing that hard? And don't get me wrong, throwing hard is fun, but if you don't command the baseball, and I'll tell you what, I've sat in the dugout when hitters are facing Bartolo Colon, and hitters know it's coming. They know he's going to throw you that front door sink or that back door sink, and they know it. And it's one of those that you go 0 for 4, and you're sitting there like, how the hell did I just go 0 for 4 off a guy throwing 88, 90 miles?
Yeah, I always use it. I say it's the most, it's not the most, it's one of the most comfortable 0 for 4s ever. By the 7th inning, you look up, he's still on the mound. You're 0 for 3. You have one more at bat coming, and you know you're getting him again. And it's like, holy shit. And you've seen, I don't know, let's just say 3 at bats up to that point, you've seen 8 or 9 pitches, and they've all been fastballs. So your 4th at bat, you get all fastballs, and you do the same shit. It's crazy.
It's also in old man news, 44-year-old Joe Bimo signed a deal with the Padres, AA.
He's a grinder. Who? Joe Bimo. I think he just did. He went back and did some of the.
He has a facility in by Ricky's house.
Yeah, that's right. He has a facility, and I think he's building his arm up. Graham, since we have you, if you could check out who my first double was off of.
His first double?
Out. Graham, 2009, it would have been 2009, September 3rd, Mets Rockies box score. And I think it was Joe Bimo. I want to think. Ground rule double off the center field wall.
All right, you got that, Graham? Graham,
right. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Hell yeah, totally.
I love it. I love this kid.
All right, now, here's why we love this kid, because Graham is a hustler. So, totally, what are you picturing? We go back to the Mexico story as we wrap up the show. Think about what you envision a guy getting punched by an old Venezuelan guy would look like, right? Just in your head, what you think it might be. And here's what it looked. Where'd it go? Oh, where's the picture?
Come on, Graham.
No, not Graham. That's me.
Oh, Beta, let's go. Graham's going to start yelling at you here in a second. Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude. What'd you think it was?
That's the
No way.
That's the shortstop, Richie Pedroza, who got punched by the manager, Luis Carlos Rivera. He also manages in Venezuela.
Can we get... Can I get a translation of what this says? All things. I know that.
The things that happened.
Things got out of control last night in the locker room of the Aguascalientes, de los Rieleros de Aguascalientes. They're informing me that Luis Carlos Rivera was really, really mad after the game, and he lost control, and he went after Richie Pedroza. Players assure that Richie didn't do anything to start this, and that he didn't retaliate. Player didn't retaliate.
No, that's.
Let me see this Luis Carlos Rivera guy. I might be able to put a face with a name here.
One of our guys, Sanaki, was saying he's like 6'4",
6'4", 240.
Richie Pedroza is like 5'9".
Yeah, Mexico.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and the other guy is Michael Wing, was a player who got tossed 4 times in 17 games, and that's what led to the altercation. So he got into it with Wing, and then Pedroza was there, supposedly popping off, according to the other people. So it's crazy. It's Mexico.
That's unbelievable. Look at this guy's face. I just can't get over that. It looks like he got hit with a 98 mile-an-hour fastball.
It was right there. So you talk about breaking up altercations. That's what's going on in Mexico. All right. Woo! Rivera pitched for the Braves. He said Rivera pitched for the Braves back then. Okay.
Yeah, he did. I was just looking at the picture. I don't recognize him.
Okay.
That's what happens when you let a pitcher manage.
He's really a pitcher?
Yeah, for the Braves.
I don't know.
But then again, it might have been. Then again, there might be a couple guys with different names too.
Yeah, there could be a couple of Luis Carlos Riveras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, Graham. Any update on the box score of Tolly's first double? What do we got, Graham?
I got it. You know I got it.
Yeah, Graham.
All right. Catcher Josh Tolley picked up his first big league hit, a single in the second inning. It was off of Jason Marquise.
Right, and then my second career hit ever was.
Oh, you were looking for the second career hit?
Yeah, not my first.
Come on, Graham. Come on, Graham.
Why are you about the second and not the first? That's what I'm asking.
Let's give it up for Graham.
No. You didn't ask for that. No. He wanted his second hit. What was it, Graham?
Let me get back to the drawing board.
Was it in that same game?
What was his 50th hit? Jesus Christ, Josh.
No, because he wanted to know if
Go Bible.
It's the same game, right, Tolly?
Same game.
All right. So later on.
Hey, that was after. It'll be after I had my stolen base.
Oh my God! What a game you had!
What a game I had! Woo!
That was your pro debut.
Yeah, base hit to right center. Next pitch, I stole. Hey, the Mets thought they were getting some superstar. Couldn't wait to trade me 4 years later.
So who was the next pitcher, Graham? Who did you get the double off of?
Let's look at the
I'm
box
still
score.
going through right now.
The box score. It should say.
Graham, what are you doing? Doing an algorithm to run this thing or what?
Nah, you know these kids, they got like 5 computers going right now. Analytics.
Hey, we on the ultimate Mets database right now, all right?
They already they deleted me off the page.
The 7 line was ready to make you a shirt.
Yeah.
Anything, Graham? Just look at the box score. Is it Beimel? Who came in after Marquis?
Joel Peralta, not Beimel.
Joel
Okay,
Peralta.
after Joel Peralta. It wasn't
Randy Flores. There's no Beimel on here. He did not pitch.
Oh, come on, Tolly!
No, he's wrong.
Wait, he did. He was the second to last guy. guy.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right,
fault,
Graham. I don't know, Graham.
Graham, let's go through all my hits.
All right, so hold on.
We won't be here too long.
Graham. Graham,
Hey, Graham, how many hits do you have in the big league?
Hey, I'm sure I'm not too far from you.
I'm just kidding. I love it.
Wow! What a debut!
You hired, man.
I don't know. I've never met him.
Hey, you're hired, Graham. I appreciate this.
What a debut! From Graham Metzger. All right, that's cool. Graham, I give you credit. You came out strong. You flubbed the box score because you realize that, you messed up. Joel Peralta, for those wondering, is a special assistant in the Dodgers organization. Randy Flores is in charge of scouting for the Cardinals, who said he would come on the podcast, but he can't talk baseball, and we told him I don't care about that, so he'll be coming on after the draft. So Joe Beimel, you got to double against him. So Graham Metzger, strong debut today. Very good job. We'll bring you back next week. Totally, you liked him?
I liked it. He's in. He was busting my balls about how many hits I have in the big league.
It's Graham Metzger. Graham Metzger and Tulowitzki must be related. The way they came in, just going after.
Yeah, they must be related.
All right, Graham, we appreciate you. All right, guys, that was fun. Quick, to the point. We got it going on. I know everybody's got to get going, but the reason I want to do the podcast is just because continue to build with the audience. We appreciate you guys. We will have a guest next week if I'm not on vacation. I don't know if I'm taking the kids somewhere, but if we do, we'll do a show. If not, we won't do a show. If not, continue to rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. And Totally, I know you got to go knock down some more trees, right?
No landscaping today. We're mulching. Big mulch project. Got to be done by 4.
Ricky, what does that mean?
Mulching. You mulch around flower beds. I mean, Jesus Christ. Do you guys do anything?
No, golf.
Ask Graham if he does anything. He
No,
knows what mulching is.
Graham, do you know what mulching is?
I thought I was here to bring the age average down, man. You're talking about mulch? What are we talking about?
Good night,
Graham.
Graham's thinking about where the next party at Oregon is, man. And you're over here talking about mulching, whatever how it is.
All right, good night, everybody. Farmer Tully, Ricky Romero for Graham Metzger, but the Duran. Thanks for listening.